Hello, my name is Zafar. Me and my wife have experienced the loss of 6 children. I got married at a pretty young age, when I was 22 years old. I don't regret it because it was a love marriage. I've met a girl and fell in love with her, and I didn't see any point in wasting time. Got married to her. We got married in 1994. Both of us really loved children, and we wanted to start a family from the point we got married, and to see how it goes from there. Once we found out that my wife was pregnant, we felt ecstatic, especially because we were trying for a long time. So it took a couple of years before she was actually pregnant, but we were really happy, over the moon. The first pregnancy went really well. There was no complications. The mother was, the pregnancy was smooth. But when the baby was born, he was born healthy as well. And within 9 hours, he suddenly passed away, which is basically registered a cot death. It was due to an infection which he caught at some point at birth. I went home at night, rest for a bit so before I come back in the next morning. But 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from the hospital. They didn't exactly tell me what was happening. They said, "Can you come urgently back to the hospital, that your wife needs you." And I went to the hospital. As I reached the hospital, all thoughts were going through my mind, and I straight away went to the ward, and I see my wife on the floor, crying her eyes out, and then she was just saying, "Hamza's dead, Hamza's dead. Tell him, I think they're lying to me. So obviously I had to pick her up and comfort her, and obviously the doctors came and took us to a room and explained the situation briefly, what was happening. And it was still surreal at that point. I didn't compute it. I just couldn't understand what was going on, to be honest. I mean, what was going through my mind was, I was trying to still understand why has he died, what's all this happening, why is all this happening? I didn't really appreciate the way they handled the process, especially what they did is they called the police straight away. I know now it's the standard process, but it's not really what I expected from them. A couple lost their baby, and I thought they would give a lot more support to us. I felt really, it makes strange thoughts go through your mind and makes you feel guilty at one point. Why is the police here? And then the police is going to be, asking questions. So yeah, didn't really appreciate the way they handled things. So after the loss of our first child, we decided to try again for another child. And we did. Alhamdulillah, she was expecting again. And the hospital were very supportive. They said, what we'll do next time, we'll monitor you more often than the standard pregnancy. And they were monitoring her every week, every couple of weeks we had to go for hospital appointments. And eventually, after a few weeks, they did find they developed some problems. The doctors gave us an option if we wanted to terminate the pregnancy or carry on, and obviously we decided to carry on the pregnancy. But it went through the almost full 9 months, but unfortunately he was stillborn. We decided to pick ourselves up again and try for a third child. Unfortunately, we had a stillborn again. You're feeling heartbroken, you're feeling sad, and you're feeling guilty. It's just all these thoughts going through your mind. So it's hard to explain. It's just your mental capacity is just suffering quite a bit at this point in time. Me and my wife decided to try a 4th time, and unfortunately we had a miscarriage. And tried a couple of more times, and she still had a miscarriage 2 more times. So burying my own kids was really, really hurtful. I mean, the first time especially, it was a great shock, and couldn't get over it. The following times that it happened, it's basically numbness, to be honest. I can't really explain the feeling. It's numbness. You don't ever think, I don't think no one ever imagines burying your own kid. At the same time, it's given me the ability now to help my friends and family with their own bereavements. I felt empty. Empty and envious because, you see so many kids around, so many family with kids, and all these questions start going through your mind, why me? Why haven't we got kids? And all these thoughts go through your head. But we got through it with support, but it is very hard. Initially, I bottled up. I bottled up the feelings because obviously looking at the state of my wife. So to keep my mind off the stress and pain, generally I would be looking for answers. All the time I was thinking why. So I was looking for answers, and also I think most of the time, giving support to my wife. That kept my feelings suppressed inside to an extent. My relationship with religion, before all these losses, I'll be honest, I didn't have much relationship with religion. I wasn't I wouldn't say myself a practicing Muslim. But since it happened, after the first loss, I had a lot of questions. Why is this happening? Why to me? And I couldn't find answers anywhere, to be honest. And the only way I could find answers was through the Quran and through the Hadith and the books of God. And it helped me a lot. And I see that myself as being an eye-opener for myself. It actually guided me through a path where it's actually made, you can say this is kind of a support as well. Through all the losses, it actually supported me. I found answers. Not to say that, you find answers that's going to be, that's why it's happened, but it kind of comforts you. Some of the times men get overseen, their feelings get overseen because they're seen as, the supporters. They're supporting their wife and whatever's happening, but it gets overseen sometimes, their own feelings, their mental state, and it is important to talk about it, and because it can have a negative impact if they don't. Support your wives, listen to them, talk about it between yourselves, talk about to other people as well who can support you. So be supportive and be patient, because when one door closes, other door will open. So always be positive. The best way family and friends can help is being supportive. Talk about it, encourage the person who's gone through it to talk about it, and there's a lot of support out there. Because there's a taboo within the Asian community, and there's a lot of support there. Just talking about it makes it really good. I think you're a bigger man if you actually share your feelings, you talk about it, and it'll be more helpful, more healthy to mentally helpful for everyone. We do think about how life would have been with all the children, especially me and my wife. We talk about it sometimes, and it would have been a houseful, to be honest. I probably would have been a granddad by now. But I've learned with religion and with support. I've learned to accept things that sometimes things happen for a reason. I know it's difficult, but I think it's made me stronger as well. After so many years of trying, we've got a healthy young son. Alhamdulillah, it just shows that a lot of patience, hope, and don't give up. You will get there. Whatever you want, you will get there. A lot of prayers, a lot of patience, and turn to Allah, and you'll get what you want.
بفضله ويقر منهم أنفسا وعيونا اعمل لنفسك قبل موتك صالحا فالمتقون له هم الناجون.